In practice, troubleshooting doesn't start from one fixed place. Sometimes you can start from an alert. Looking at our main alerting view, we see several high priority issues across the OpenTelemetry demo environment. The top entry, product catalog, returns more than 0.6% errors. It is marked as resolved now, but the red timeline shows a sustained period where the service was consistently failing its checks. When we click that alert to drill down, we get the full context. A timeline for the incident and the exact PromQL query responsible for the check. Under that, the related telemetry panels show a dense cluster of errors signals during the same window, which tells us this wasn't just a single blip or a one-off request. Now, instead of manually hunting through logs and traces, we can ask the Agent Zero to investigate. We click the Agent Zero button and it routes to the seeker for troubleshooting. It also starts a prompt with the full context already filled in, including the check window, labels, and the query. Now we can watch the automated investigation unfold step by step. We can even click each step to see details. Here in the right-hand panel, we can see the error rate over time and exactly when it crossed the threshold. Then under Get Service Health and Metrics, it shows the service health context around the same window, so we can quickly tell whether this is isolated to one service or part of a broader degradation. Then we can click more. This surfaces the logs during the incident window, filtered to the service we care about, so we can see the concrete error message behind the spike. And then if we click on Find Correlated Attributes, it shows which attributes most strongly correlate with the failing spans. Now here's the result. The first section explains why the check fired, the threshold we configured, the error rate that was observed, how long it lasted, and how much traffic was affected. Then the root cause narrows the issue down to a specific failure pattern and clarifies why we might see small absolute counts in one view, but still have an elevated percentage over the incident window. After that, the impact assessment explains which other services were affected, what users likely saw, and why it matters based on real request counts during the incident. Then, recommended actions turn the findings into a clear set of next steps, like immediate verification, likely causes to check, and ways to prevent the same class of issue from paging us again. But it's not enough to just describe it. Agent Zero also prepares next steps we can click to keep going. These are essentially pre-baked follow-up prompts that continue the same investigation without us having to decide what to ask next. Now we can also troubleshoot from an error discovered during a routine check of our traces. From the tracing triage, we look at the error period and click on a failed post API checkout. This takes us into a specific trace that looks highly anomalous because of its duration. From there, we can ask Agent Zero to investigate it, and this time the request is routed to the thread weaver, since it's a trace analysis. It triggers another detailed and specific prompt with the service namespace, service name, span ID, trace ID, and the time range to analyze. We can click on what it's doing, and again, we can see where it pulls key span attributes, the exception event, child spans, and trace context into one analysis. Then we get a detailed answer. The overview explains the what at a glance. So it's not just an error, it's an error with an extreme duration, which changes how we interpret the failure. The root cause analysis ties together duration, cancellation, span structure, and causal links into a set of likely failure modes. The suspicion pattern and anomalies highlight why it's not a one-off. The error rate among similar spans is high, and the timeout behavior looks systematic. Then it gives us concrete debugging steps we can act on immediately, likely which service health signals to check first, which logs to inspect, and which downstream dependencies might be involved. It also outlines deeper investigation paths, pointing us to related traces, correlated failures, and time windows that are most relevant, so we're not just searching blindly. Finally, it proposes long term improvements such as tightening timeout configurations, adding circuit breakers, or improving alerting around this class of failure. The result is a clear end to end summary of the request flow, paired with a prioritized set of actions that separates what needs to happen right now from what should be addressed once the incident is under control. And again, finally, it gives us next steps we can click to continue the investigation. As you can see, whether we start from an alert, a trace, a dashboard, or anywhere else in Dash Zero, Agent Zero helps us move from raw telemetry to understanding and action, guiding the investigation step by step instead of leaving us to get what to look at next.